The depths are a truly incredible addition to Tears of the Kingdom. Having an entire underworld to explore was a welcome surprise. And what a surprise it was! I'd skipped Lookout Landing for a good portion of my playthrough, so when I stumbled across a massive hole on the Great Plateau, I jumped in and prayed for a pool of water. Words can't describe the awe, fear, and excitement I felt in this moment. Today, I'll be analyzing the gameplay of the depths, and giving my overall thoughts on this underground wonder. Amidst the darkness, you'll be hard-pressed to see anything aside from the eerie glow of gloom. This crimson substance will incessantly drain the player's health, depriving them of their hearts. Gloom's crimson glimmer extends beyond just signaling danger. The radiance of gloom often contours terrain, giving you a vague sense of your surroundings. This can allow the player to navigate the dark without the need for other light sources. Navigating gloom can be a puzzle in and of itself. You'll find yourself doing things like playing hopscotch or shield surfing to avoid its grasp. To further aid in your navigation of the dark, the player has access to Bright Bloom seeds. Upon impact, these seeds blossom into glowing flowers that cast light. The radius of light is quite generous, proving useful when tossed up close or fused to an arrow to scout far away. Though incredibly useful, you'll want to employ sources of light beyond Bright Blooms. This can be achieved through food and elixirs that give you the glow effect, or by obtaining the Miner's Armor set. Your ultimate goal when trying to navigate the inky darkness is to dispel it altogether via light roots. When activated, these warm bulbs will completely illuminate an area, allowing the player to see their surroundings in full. Furthermore, light roots fill in a portion of the player's map, and serve as one of only a few ways to restore locked hearts. This cyclical navigation of the darkness is exemplified best by the tutorial for the depths. Activate the light root, avoid gloom, use Bright Bloom seeds, repeat. But there's one part of the tutorial I skipped. Zonaite is the thread that weaves together the intricate fabric of the depths. It is vital to player progression, and serves as your main incentive for exploration. You can obtain Zonaite by defeating foes, pillaging enemy camps, and exploring abandoned mines. Abandoned mines are the dilapidated remnants of ancient Zonai society, offering a glimpse into a time long past. These fairly small structures harbor a plethora of Zonaite deposits, and come equipped with plenty of rocks and hammers to ensure you'll have the means to mine it all. Also found exclusively at mines are massive pockets of Zonaite. You'll be hard-pressed to mine it all with a hammer, so it's best to use a bomb flower. Abandoned mines also house a dimly lit chest that will contain either a piece of armor or a large crystallized charge used to upgrade your energy cell. The second variety of mine comes in the form of Great Abandoned Mines. These are significantly larger and serve as your hub to exchange Zonaite for crystallized charges, as well as Zonai charges, used as a temporary battery fill-up. These structures are less common than their counterparts, but are much more lively, as they are home to friendly constructs that keep these ancient repositories up and running. Within each mine, you'll encounter a steward construct ready to grant you a schematic. But to understand schematics, we have to start with Autobuild and the Yiga Clan. The Yiga Clan is a group of Sheikah who defected in favor of the Demon King. They are a quirky yet intimidating bunch who have taken a keen interest in Zonai technology. In Tears of the Kingdom, the Yiga have set up various outposts throughout the depths that serve as points of interest for the player to invade. Outposts provide obstacles centered around Zonai contraptions, each featuring a unique contraption to overcome. This serves as both a challenge and a way to showcase various interactions between Zonai devices. The geography itself can also prove challenging, as some outposts are above water or stationed on isolated peaks. To overcome an outpost, you'll need to defeat the lead Yiga member, denoted by this red, circular projection. Your reward for conquering an outpost is a large crystallized charge and a Yiga schematic. Autobuild, obtained from the Great Abandoned Central Mine, is an ability that records your previous creations and allows you to recreate them using nearby items in Zonaite. When Autobuild is activated, you'll select a preset and it will then locate nearby components, allowing you to assemble them at the press of a button. If any components are missing, Autobuild can materialize them at the cost of some Zonaite. Autobuild allows you to favorite up to 8 contraptions, along with giving you access to your last 22 builds. These features help streamline the process of building contraptions, a process that, while incredibly fun, can prove to be quite fickle and time-consuming. If the player had to constantly remake contraptions from scratch, or start over when a mistake is made, the act of creation would become exceedingly frustrating. Autobuild is an incredibly convenient feature, but its genius extends far beyond just convenience. Let's finally talk about schematics. Schematics are blueprints crafted by the game developers and serve as a brilliant, in-universe way to teach the player how Zonai devices can interact with one another. They range from the pragmatic scaffolding to the impractical flamethrower balloon. Schematics encourage not only practical inspiration, but also promote just messing around and having some fun. It can't be understated just how important schematics can be in teaching the player about Zonai devices. I remember unlocking the monocycle and being intrigued at how the stabilizer is used to allow you to conveniently mount the vehicle without disrupting the wheel's operation. Learning from schematics feels completely natural, maintaining immersion, and all of this is what makes Autobuild so great. Its ties to the depths, great abandoned mines, and the Yiga Clan make Autobuild blend into the world so beautifully. The sheer range of possibilities Zonai Technology allows for goes far beyond the scope of this video, but basic planes and vehicles will be your go-to. These allow you to traverse over gloom without taking damage, as well as being generally faster than navigating on foot. Zonai devices are obtained in two primary ways: device capsules and device stations. Device capsules allow you to summon a Zonai device on command. These capsules can be obtained from device dispensers in exchange for Zonai material, most notably Zonai charges. Zonai device stations are small structures found frequently throughout the depths that provide the player with a limited palette of Zonai devices to use. I did several hours of research into these and have concluded that each region boasts 1 out of 4 types of stations. No, this information is not anywhere else on the internet, and yes, I did spend way longer on this than I maybe should have. Here's the map of the stations you can expect in each region. The Hebra, Tabantha, Gerudo Highlands, Gerudo Desert, Farron Grasslands, and Mount Lanayru depths give you stone slabs, a wing, a carriage and balloon, 4 rockets, 4 bombs, and 3 fans. The most common machine I find myself making is a wing plus fan plus rocket combo that allows me to take off and then steer by shifting Link's position. The Great Plateau, Hyrule Fields, and Hyrule Ridge depths boast stone slabs, a wing, 4 small wheels, 3 fans, and 2 to 3 carts. The lack of steering stick here is particularly rough, as a vehicle can't be steered efficiently without one. A fan-powered wing on a cart, however, is extremely handy and can take off given enough distance. The East and West Necluda and Eldin depths host stone slabs, 2 rockets, 2 sleds, 2 batteries, 2 stakes, 2 fans, 1 control stick, and 4 large wheels. This palette is the most versatile of any you'll find in the depths. You can create a flying machine that can actually take off, and a vehicle that can be controlled. This, on top of access to 2 batteries, allows for the most cohesive contraptions of all 4 stations. The Akala Highlands, Lanayru Wetlands, and Great Hyrule Forest depths feature stone slabs, a wing, a carriage and balloon, 2 hover stones, 2 bombs, 2 fans, and 1 control stick. This set of devices is particularly tricky to work with. There's no convenient means for takeoff, and no wheels for vehicles. Piecing together a flying machine, utilizing the slabs to make scaffolding, and using recall to gain extra height will allow you to get airborne just long enough to maintain flight. Alternatively, you can piece together a hot air balloon featuring a fan and a control stick to create this abomination. It's a bit janky and requires a flame emitter capsule, but it's incredibly endearing and works quite well. The abundance of these stations encourages players to build and experiment often. Because stations are consistent, Autobuild becomes incredibly useful at keeping the flow of traversal efficient. And because the palette is limited, Autobuild and device capsules can help fill in any material gaps that are missing. Varying the palettes by region gives each area a slightly distinct way to navigate and interact with the environment. However, one thing that stumps me is that bombs are featured at 2 out of the 4 stations. Sure, they can be used to activate Zonai devices, but that feature doesn't seem particularly useful at any of the stations. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me ask you a question. Why aren't there any shrines in the depths? Why aren't there any caves? Your initial assumption is likely that it's due to a lack of development time, and while I'm sure that played a role, I think there's another reason. When you enter a shrine, or get too far away from your Zonai contraption, it will despawn. Imagine how frustrating this would become in the depths. I think that to maintain a cohesive gameplay flow centered around Zonai technology, the game has opted for other things to do and explore, namely combat. Depths is populated by gloom-infested variants of overworld enemies. If struck, the player's hearts will become locked, making avoiding attacks even more crucial than in the overworld. Furthermore, gloom itself can serve as an obstacle in combat, limiting the player's movement options. A new addition to the list of foes comes in the form of the Little Frogs. These guys drop Zonaite and Bright Bloom seeds when defeated. This gives you the means to collect more seeds, as they are scarcely found in the depths. Be careful though, these little froxes consume bright blooms too. Beyond basic enemies, players will fight gloom-infested variants of mini-bosses. Mini-bosses drop large crystallized charges, incentivizing you to defeat them. Tears of the Kingdom introduces a new mini-boss, the Frox, a massive one-eyed salamander frog hybrid. You defeat it by destroying the deposits on its back, netting you a large amount of Zonaite. The Frox is a terrifying and much appreciated new addition to the cast. Colosseums see you facing off against a gauntlet of enemies. You'll fight your way through 5 waves, each growing progressively more difficult. Colosseums serve as a fun, close-quarters skirmish that can prove genuinely challenging, and reward you with a generally worthwhile piece of armor. Flux constructs are an anomaly in the depths, because no other type of Zonai construct can be found. I believe the reason Flux constructs get a pass is because they drop device capsules. Boss rematches are a much welcomed addition to Tears of the Kingdom. When defeated, bosses will drop a part that can be fused, as well as unlocking a chest that rewards you with 100 crystallized charges. Just enough for an energy well. The depths provide a plentiful amount of puffshrooms, muddle buds, and bomb flowers. Puffshrooms are a type of fungus that, upon impact, shrouds the area in spores. This obscures the enemy's visibility, allowing players to sneak strike them for massive damage. Furthermore, if you want to avoid combat altogether, you can use them to mine Zonaite without being spotted. Whatever method you choose, you'll be sure to conserve just a bit of weapon durability. Muddle buds are a type of flower that will confuse the enemy into attacking their allies. Use this on the strongest enemy in the camp to demolish the weaker ones. Because the nature of friendly fire saves you some hits, you'll conserve just a bit of weapon durability. Bombflowers aren't exclusive to the depths, but are very plentiful here. They can be fused to an arrow for massive damage, conserving just a bit of weapon durability. Beyond using weapons and resources for combat, you can also employ the use of Zonai contraptions. Whether it's a simple flamethrower companion or a unicorn with a laser, the possibilities are endless. In general though, using Zonai contraptions for combat is pretty impractical, but can be fun and genuinely useful, and helps you conserve just a bit of weapon durability. Around the depths, you'll find spirits of fallen soldiers presenting pristine weapons. These weapons trend stronger than the decayed weapons found elsewhere, and also have more durability. Okay, I think you see what I'm getting at here. The developers did everything in their power to alleviate the pain of weapon degradation. Muddle buds and puffshrooms are powerful tools. Between the amount of enemy camps you take down, the amount of monster parts you'll be collecting, the fact that enemies drop hammers to mine Zonaite, and the pristine weapons scattered about, players will rarely, if ever, find themselves struggling to maintain a solid arsenal of weapons. If you want more info on how Tears of the Kingdom fixes weapon degradation, I made a full video linked down below. Thanks for all the support on that one, by the way. Despite how much I love the depths, there are some major issues it falls victim to. The depth's entire economy essentially revolves around a single resource in Zonaite. This incessant need to mine Zonaite is sure to become repetitive for some players. You may also find yourself revisiting the same areas over and over again, which could be monotonous. The overwhelming amount of use cases for Zonaite possesses an issue as well. Battery upgrades will often supersede other uses for Zonaite, namely Autobuild and Zonai charges. Lack of enemy variety means that gloom-infested enemies and combat challenges can become repetitive over time. The especially astute of you may have realized I never mentioned pose, and that wasn't by mistake. Throughout my playthrough, I kept waiting for pose to become genuinely useful, but they never really did. Sure, you can exchange them for exclusive armor, but these armor sets could just as easily have been loot from chests or rewards from Colosseums. I did enjoy the hunt for bargainer statues though, and I love the ambiance pose add to the depths. The air bike significantly diminishes a lot of the ingenuity of the depths. It is the single most efficient way to get around, and renders Zonai stations nearly redundant. It eliminates most of the challenge of navigation, and it's just a little too safe. This is coming from someone who used the air bike for the majority of my playthrough. I personally wish I hadn't learned about it until later on. Though, it is extremely fun to use and convenient for late game. I know this is probably a hot take, so I'm curious to hear what you guys think. From dodging gloom and activating light roots, to mining Zonaite and using technology, the depths offer an amazingly immersive and unexpected underworld to explore. The link between Autobuild and the Yiga Clan elevates the ability far beyond a mere convenience, and the way outposts and schematics educate the player is truly ingenious. The depths are the type of terrifying I both dread and love, and I'm genuinely curious to hear your thoughts on the depths. What was your personal experience? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.